everyone, welcome back to Gradeup. This is our daily Hindu editorial analysis with Alpa Sharma on India's largest online education platform, that is Gradeup. Sahi prep hai to life set hai. Bonjour everyone, good morning. Thank you, Aarti. You've made my work easy, but why did you retract the message? You going to save it for later? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's see what's going to be our agenda for the day. So, today is the 7th of July, and I've taken two articles from the editorial that have come on 6th of July. But both are not from the Hindu today. One article is from the Hindu, and the other article was a very important one. Usually, I see Hindu is a day late. Let's see if it happens tomorrow or not. I've taken one legal important article from the Indian Express. It's a burning topic, so I wanted to discuss it. And very, very likely tomorrow, the Hindu will have one article on this topic that I'm going to teach. So let's see if Hindu has it or not. That's my assumption. That's what I usually have seen happening with the Hindu. So let's see if that article is present in the Hindu today or tomorrow or not. Nonetheless, we're going to take yesterday's articles, two articles, one from the Hindu, one from the Indian Express. Very, very important. In Hindu ka ye wala jo article that I'm going to take today is a little political, slightly political, but I think since it's an international article, I think it's important. And the one from Indian Express becomes very, very important. I'm going to narrate a good story to you. For all those people who do not know me, my name is Alpa Sharma, and I've been teaching CLAT aspirants for over 10 years, various other competitive examinations too, but predominantly CLAT for over 10 years. What are we going to do today? By the time we discuss it, hi everyone, how many of us are here today? क्या हो गया? अच्छा. Okay, so all right, so let's see what are we going to do. So we're going to do one positive quote of the day that you will tell me. I haven't bought a quote of the day today deliberately. I missed one yesterday, forgot one yesterday. So you gave me a lot of positive quotes. Today also you are going to tell me the positive quote of the day. Then we're going to take 3 questions from yesterday's class and revise it. 3 vocabulary words from yesterday's class and revise it through one-word substitution questions. Then we're going to take out 2 articles, discuss that in detail, do the entire vocabulary, phrasal verbs and idioms out of it. And in the end, you will tell me the tone of the author, and in the comment section, you will tell me the summary. Yesterday, a lot of people did not write the summary. I think only Dinesh and one more person wrote the summary. Why have you guys not been writing the summary? I want you to write that, okay? So, Yeshita has a quote of the day. Let's read what she has now. Yeshita says, no sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Absolutely. Very good, Yeshita. I absolutely agree to it. If you believe in yourself, if you think I can do it, only and only then you will be able to do it. It will not happen magically to you. You will not just keep sitting and magically you will find your dream NLU in your hands. You have to think and then you have to work towards it. So even if this will happen only and only when you dream about your future, about your success. Only then positive things are going to come to your way. Never a victim, forever a fighter. Yep, that's another good one. But okay, it's more of an attitude than a positive quote of the day. So I can take that too. Okay, so guys, see, I'll tell you something. I'll answer this question. So the question Ashutosh and Sahil have, I'll answer this question. All right. I'll answer this when we start doing the passages. But for now, because I don't want to hijack the whole. Okay. All right. So, ma'am, take article from the Indian Express. Bache, are you late? Have you joined late? I am taking an article from the Indian Express today. I've told you this. Today, one article is there from Indian Express. Okay. More, you are capable of more than, absolutely. Absolutely. When we were children, we were told a lot of things. Nahi bache, ye nahi karna chahiye, ye aap nahi kar sakte ho, ye aapse nahi hoga. We used to hear a lot of things in schools. Some of our family members used to say this to us. And then gradually things get engraved in our head. Ki ye mujhse nahi hoga. But in reality, you're capable of a lot more than you think you can do actually, which is absolutely the truth. So always aim for higher, always aim for much more. Okay? All right. So, okay. So let's move on. All right. So, okay, now Sahil and whose question is this about figure of speech? Ashutosh. देखो बच्चे, I've tried doing that. It's not that I have not tried doing that. But usually figure of speech are not found in editorial articles. They're found in short stories. They're found in literary extracts where the writer pays a lot of attention to writing style. When I look at editorials, the writing style is plain. The author pays a lot of attention to expressing his point of view. So that is why I usually do not find figure of speech here, because देखो figure of speech में example क्या होगा, simile हो सकता है इधर, but personification नहीं होगा, because the author is not personifying anybody, he is merely mentioning facts and giving his own opinion. So personification cannot be found, synecdoche cannot be found, lightities cannot be found. Okay, so mostly you will only and only find simile as a figure of speech in the editorial articles, and that's the reason why I have not been bringing figure of speech into my articles in my class. I hope you're convinced and you agree with what I'm saying. Okay, ma'am, last week my questions. Okay, so and about the question answer thing that we spoke about from our editorials, I've spoken to my video team about that. They are going to work on it. We are genuinely working on it, and we hopefully are going to bring it very soon. Okay, ठीक है. Chalo, let's move on. I hope I've answered all your questions, all your issues. ठीक है, let's move ahead. So if you're targeting CLAT 2022, we have a comprehensive course that is batch 6. 5 batches are already full. Batch 6 is going to start soon. We don't have a lot of time left. Not even a year is left for CLAT 2022. Because my assumption is by next year, the CLAT should happen on time. So make sure you speak to our counselors on this number and inquire about the course. Make sure you enroll yourself at the soonest with this course. And if you are targeting MHCT, we have another new batch starting for you, that is a Champions Crash Course. Please enroll yourself for this batch at the earliest if you want your scores for MHCT to go up. Make sure you enroll yourself at the soonest. This we have already done. All right, एक बार देख लूं मैं. अच्छा, all right. Okay, so this is our word from yesterday's class. You have to tell me one word that's suitable here from the definition given. The definition is deviating from what is standard, normal, or expected. Away from normal. Is it grapple? Is it limp? Is it silo? Or is it anomalous? What is it? Tell me the answer. Bache, come back to it. Okay. Aradhya says D. Okay. All right. What is it? D, everyone. Guys, is my video buffering? Is my video buffering, bachcho? Okay, the answer, by the time you answer the buffering thing, the answers here certainly is D. It is anomalous. Okay. The answer is not silo. The answer is anomalous. Anomalous is different from what is usual, different from what is expected. Grapple is to struggle. Okay. Limp is to walk in a manner where probably your toes or your feet is hurting. Okay. That kind of a walk is limp. No, not buffering. ठीक है. All right. ठीक है. I don't know, Sahil, what you're talking about. It is distracting, bache. Either you ask me something, so I'm able to answer this. Okay? Yesterday's class, you got vaccinated. Congratulations, Shreya. Finally, you got vaccinated. What is silo? Silo is working in isolation. Okay, next question. A strong or habitual liking for something or tendency to do something. Your dash towards something because you like something so much, you're inclined towards that. Is it prerequisite? Is it notch? Is it penshaw? Is it bolster? What is it? Anomalous answer है, correct. Rohan, lag hoga. This medium will always have lag, even if the internet is super fast. Okay? Our the batch classes, they do not have a lag, but this YouTube class will always have a lag. Are you sure? Yes. No, it is not B, Dinesh. No, it is not bolster, Aditya. Bolster is to support. Is penshaw. The answer is C. Bolster is to support. Okay? Notch, I had explained this multiple times. An inclined space, and where you put some incision on it to fix something inside it, that's a notch. Okay? Prerequisite, something that is needed before something else is to be done. एक चीज जो already beginning में आपको चाहिए होती है before you start something. Okay? To get a driving license, the prerequisite is that you are 16 plus for learning and 18 plus for a permanent driving license. That is a prerequisite. Okay? That is needed, much needed, certainly needed before something is to be done. All right. Okay. Bolster, strengthen, support. Correct. Absolutely, Sahil. Okay. Yes, Lauren. Absolutely correct. What is a motive? Okay, motive has multiple meanings. I'll explain that. Jatin says, let me clear your doubt, Sahil. Motive means repetition of single idea or theme in a particular work. And motive means to make something to do that works in a particular way. Motive also has another meaning. Motive has a protruding design to something. It can be repetitive. It's a different. So the texture is different. It's protruding. You can locate it. You can look at it clearly. That is a motive. That is another meaning to motive. Okay. Now, I hope the answer is clear to Sahil. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next question. Unable to be challenged or denied. Is it intrinsic? Is it indisputable? Is it fallacious? Is it juxtaposed? What is it? What is it? What is the answer? B. Okay. Somebody says limb. Okay. Inclination, propensity is penshaw. Correct. Abhiral. I'll explain penshaw again. Yes. The answer here absolutely is B. Indisputable. Something that cannot be disputed. Something that cannot be argued upon, cannot be challenged or cannot be denied is indisputable. Okay. Intrinsic kya hoga? Who will tell me intrinsic? By the time you answer intrinsic, I'll tell you what is fallacious. Fallacious is false. Okay. Juxtaposition to place closely. Side by side is juxtaposition. What is intrinsic? Absolutely correct, Lauren. Very good. It is totally indisputable that only hard work is the way to success. Correct. It is indisputable. Not only hard work, but hard work is necessary. Let me put it that way. Sometimes other things are also important for success. I will not talk about that right now. Who will tell me what is intrinsic? Bhumi says inherent. Okay. Anyone else? We did this yesterday, bacho. You have to tell me this. Yes, interior inherent, inherent, that is engraved is intrinsic. Okay. Now, somebody wanted to know the meaning of penshaw again. Penshaw का मतलब होता है आपकी liking किसी चीज के लिए, आपका inclination किसी चीज के लिए is your penshaw. ठीक है, आपको बहुत strongly urge होता है वो काम करने का. That is your penshaw. My penshaw for teaching, my liking for it, my inclination towards it. If you like art, your penshaw for art. I hope you get this. We've done all the words here. Let's move on to the words from today's editorial. Now, I have a lot of words. I have approximately 2.5 to 3 slides today. So let's start doing that. Okay. All right. Essential bhi ho sakta, Lauren? Yes, intrinsic can also be essential. All right. The first word, felony. Now, felony is usually not used in Indian law, but in USA, it's an important part. So, felony is any kind of crime that you've committed that induces more than 1 year of imprisonment. It's kind of a serious crime. It's not a petty crime. It's a serious crime that includes at least more than 1 year of imprisonment. So, for example, murder, rape, these charges are felony. I hope you understand that in USA this term is used. He pleaded guilty to 6 felonies. 6 charges were against him. Serious charges were against him and he pleaded guilty to all of these 6 charges. I hope you understand felony. The next one is larceny. Larceny is an old term for theft. Okay, it's an old term for theft. चोरी के लिए यूजुअली प्रॉपर्टी की होती है बट इवन अदरवाइज आई कैन यूज लार्सनी फॉर एनी अदर काइंड नाउ देन नेक्स्ट वर्ड इज ऑडेशियस ऑडेशियस इज हिम्मत okay to be very bold to do things that are risky is audacious to be bold is audacious I hope you understand audacious buffering just a minute bachcho give me 1 minute give me 1 minute 1 minute, bachcho. Give me 1 minute. One minute, guys. Okay, now you have to tell me if everything is fine. You have to tell me if everything looks good, bachcho. If everything looks good, I'm going to proceed. Tell me if everything looks good. Yes, it's okay. All right, now, just a minute. Now, fine. Okay, so we were discussing, what were we discussing? We were discussing, तो felony में doubt था किसी को. I'll explain felony again. And audacious as well. I'll explain both of it again. So, audacious is when you are bold enough to take a step. You're not scared of anything. That is when you are audacious. जब आप बहुत हिम्मत रखते हो किसी काम करने के लिए and आप डरते नहीं हो किसी चीज से. A series of audacious takeover. You were not scared of taking over on something. You were bold. You were audacious. This is audacious. Felony में फिर से बताती थी. Felony is a kind of crime. जो term हम USA में use करते हैं. Felony is a kind of crime जो कि एक सीवियर क्राइम होता है एक एक्सट्रीम लेवल का क्राइम होता है एंड इट इंड्यूसेस एट लीस्ट मोर देन 1 year ऑफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट सो क्राइम्स लाइक रेप एंड मर्डर विल बी चार्ज्ड अंडर फेलिनी ये होता है फेलिनी ठीक है लार्सिनी इज थेफ्ट चोरी यूजुअली ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी बट अब लार्सिनी कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ थेफ्ट बट इट्स एन ओल्ड टर्म we don't use it anymore. Next word is salvo. Salvo is a sudden aggressive reaction to something. Okay, you were working plainly, but the examinations got postponed. Your sudden reaction to it will be your salvo. The pardons provoked a salvo of accusations. So sudden reaction that is aggressive reaction, strong reaction. All right, okay. Okay, next one. Kangana is audacious. Yes, I can say that. She's certainly not scared of anything. If she's right or wrong, I don't know, but she's certainly not scared of anything. Okay, next one. We have indictment. Indictment is a formal accusation, a formal charge for a serious crime. We use this word in India a lot. So finally, when I file a case, that is an indictment. A serious charge that I put against somebody who I think is guilty of it. An indictment for conspiracy. Conspiracy का charge आपने किसी के against किया, that is indictment. So to accuse somebody of a strong wrongdoing, illegal wrongdoing is an indictment. To accuse or charge somebody. All right. Next word is subpoena. Let me look at your chats if it is buffering or not. Brazen is bold. Yes, Sahil, absolutely correct. Okay. Impudent can be a synonym for audacious. Yet, yes, it can be. Okay. All right. Then comes a subpoena. A subpoena is basically when a court sends you an order to, it's basically a summon. Okay. So when a court sends you an order and calls you to the court, ki court aao, explanation do apna. That's a subpoena. A summon is a subpoena. All right. I hope you understand this. Somebody wanted to understand salvo. Again, I'll explain this in Hindi to you. Salvo का मतलब होता है जब आप किसी चीज से अनहैप्पी हो और आप बहुत अग्रेसिवली अपना रिएक्शन देते हो. That is salvo. और सबीना जब कोर्ट आपको बुलाती है कि अच्छा भाई तुम्हारे अगेंस्ट ये चार्जेस है, आप कोर्ट आके बताओ कि आपने क्या किया है और ऐसा किया है तो क्यों किया है, आप एक्सप्लेनेशन दीजिए मुझे. That is subpoena. Any doubts with this list of words? I hope I've explained salvo again. Yes, absolutely correct, Jatin. Okay, next one. This is the next slide. The first one is an idiom. Run of the mill. Run of the mill मतलब बहुत common. Okay, एक मिल में मैं एक क्लोथ का प्रिंट बना रही हूँ. So जितना भी प्रिंट बनाऊंगी वो सब सिमिलर होगा. उसमें कुछ भी आउटस्टैंडिंग नहीं होगा, कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी नहीं होगा. Everything will be similar. Something that does not stand out is run of the mill. Okay, something that is common, can be easily located, everyone has it, that is run of the mill. I hope you understand the meaning of the idiom here. And I hope you remember the idiom we did in the last class, a dog in the manger. Okay, next one is a plutocrat. Now I have to break this word. Pluto means wealth. Or crat is a person who is a part of a government. Okay, crazy is government. Root words, both are root words. Okay, now plutocrat is a person who is in power because he is wealthy, because he has money. Plutocracy is a kind of government that is run by wealthy people. That is plutocracy. Okay? Okay. All right. Government by wealthy people or aristocrats is absolutely correct, Abhiral. That is plutocrat. Okay. Next one is enfeeble. Enfeeble is very, very weak, fragile, or weak. Okay, very weak is enfeeble. Feeble is actually synonymous to fragile and weak. Enfeeble किसी को और feeble बनाना is enfeeble. Sickness had enfeebled me, made me weak, made me fragile. Ravage, we've already done this word in my previous classes with you. Ravage is very, very aggressively damaging something. The cyclone was ravaging the city. Okay, to create damage or devastating is ravage. हमने रावण से याद किया था, if you remember. Ravan was very aggressive and devastating and damaged almost everything. So Ravan से याद करना, Ravan's Lanka was ravaged by you know who. So Ravan से याद कर लेना, ravage. I hope you understand this, everyone. So Anukta, the vocabulary is out of the two articles that I'm going to take today. One article is from the Hindu, one article is from the Indian Express. So this is a mixture of both the editorials, articles and their vocabulary. Okay. Ravan say it's easy to learn that way. Plutocrats made social. Very good, Abhinav. Very good sentence. Abhinav 12D. Now I know what class you are in. Hanumanji ravaged the Lanka. Yes, absolutely correct. Next question. Derelict is in a very, very weak and poor condition. ऐसी condition में कि वो almost damaged है. It's like almost damaged, poor, जो अच्छे से maintained नहीं है, not maintained. Is derelict. Usually हम buildings के लिए use करते हैं word. A building is a derelict condition means it's very, very poorly maintained. It's in ramshackles. That's another word for it. Okay. This mansion, this is also a building. See, so usually derelict is used for buildings. Hobble. Hobble is to walk in a weird manner, possibly limping. Limping can be related to hobble. Okay. Usually एक absurd jump के साथ जो walk होती है, that is hobble. Because possibly there's something is hurting in your foot or you something is paining or you have an injury, that kind of a walk is hobble. He was hobbling around on crutches. Crutches is Baisakhi. Okay. मैम क्लास 11 एंड 12 की पॉलिटिकल साइंस एनसीईआरटी बुक में हिंदी या इंग्लिश कौन सी वर्जन पढ़ें प्लीज टेल मी आई डोंट नो आई डोंट नो मैम yesterday you asked the meaning. Yes Danshri, thank you for reminding me. Ladkadana, hobble is okay, ladkadana, correct, not straight, correct. Tell me the difference between amiable and amicable. I gave you these two words in yesterday's class. Just a minute. Amiable and amicable. Difference between both the words. What is it? Tell me. Who will tell me the difference? Who will tell me the difference? Anyone? Amiable, amicable, jaldi batao, otherwise I'm going to move ahead. No one? Okay, if you haven't searched it, I'm not going to discuss it. I'm going to move ahead. Next page. Dissent. Dissent is usually speaking against the authority. Okay, when expressing a point of view that's possibly opposite to what the authority thinks. Expression or opinions variance with those commonly or officially held is dissent. Okay, dis is the negative prefix here. So expressing opinions opposite to the common belief or opposite to the authority is dissent. Next idiom is slap on the wrist. Okay, now if I slap you on the wrist, will it hurt you? Tell me, will it hurt you? By the time you answer will it hurt you or not, there are some people answering amiable and amicable. Let me see what is it. Amicable is friendly, so is amiable. Amiable bhi friendly hota hai. Okay? Okay. Amicable means decently friendly and amiable means friendly and pleasant. Okay, so I'll tell you the difference. Amicable is socially accepted friendly behavior. Amiable is also friendly, but amicable makes it social. Okay? Both are friendly, just that amicable is more of a socially accepted one. Both are friendly. Alright, I hope you understand this. Yes, exactly, Abhiral. Amicable, on the other hand, is good interaction and peaceable. So it's socially acceptable. Amiable can be friendly in any manner. Okay. So, हाँ, Ashutosh, you know now. Dissent आया है तो UAPA का article तो आएगा ही. If I slap you on the wrist, it will not hurt you. Certainly. So, slap on the wrist is a very light punishment that will not that nobody will be bothered about. That is slap on the wrist. A warning which is not severe. A punishment that is not severe at all. Alright, I hope you understand what is slap on the wrist, and the last word is flinch. Flinching is the sudden reaction that you give. So for example, if you have a shooting pain in your stomach, the reaction that you give is flinching. If you suddenly see something really dirty, the reaction that you give is flinching. If you disapprove of something, the sudden reaction that you give is flinching. I flinch usually when I see so many of you talking amongst yourselves and I'm unable to focus on the statements that are targeted towards me. That reaction is flinching. So quick and nervous movement as an instinctive reaction to fear, pain or surprise or dislike. That reaction is flinch. I hope you understand what is flinch, everyone. ठीक है? All right. So I hope you understand this. Now let's move on to our articles. I do not want you to chat amongst yourselves. Stick with me, understand the first article. It's a funny article actually. And then we're going to take up a serious article. So the first article is here. Do not chat amongst yourselves. And in the end, tell me the tone of the author. All right. Okay. Trump again on charging of Trump organization. So Trump organization है, ठीक है? Trump organization is an organization जिसके obviously leader Donald Trump हो जाते हैं और उस organization पे बहुत सारे felony charges लग गए हैं. ये unexpected charges थे. These charges were unexpected because when there was no official inquiry that was set up. The inquiry was for something else. And when the inquiry started, a lot of, misleading things came out. What were the things? How will it impact? And what is going to be Trump's stance on it? आपको पता है Trump का क्या stance होगा इधर, if you know his own leadership way. So this article is about that. So start कहीं और से हुई थी कहानी. It went somewhere else. It's a very funny story. Let's understand this. The Trump Organization, the company owned by obviously the former US President Donald Trump, has been charged by authorities in New York for 15 felony counts. इस company को, इस organization को 15 felony counts के charges दिए गए हैं, including of committing a scheme to defraud, conspiracy, grand larceny, normal larceny theft नहीं, grand larceny of property, criminal tax fraud, falsifying business records, basically एक business जो भी गलत चीजें कर सकती है, everything has been charged for the against the Trump Organization. Prosecutors have also brought charges against a sweeping and audacious fraudulent scheme involving the firm's CFO taking more than 1.7 million in undeclared remuneration from the company's personal expense. So basically, अभी तक Trump के against कोई formal charge नहीं आया है. The CFO of the company has been made, accused of a very, very serious crime. The serious crime is that he has taken approximately $1.7 million from his from the company's account for his personal expense, and it is an undeclared expense. क्यों withdraw किया? No declaration made for that. This huge amount. So the CFO has also been charged of felony here. While Mr. Trump has not been charged in this legal salvo, कोई भी legal charging नहीं आई है against Mr. Trump, it is possible that something will happen to him in the future. Of course, because he is the leader of the organization, so something will certainly happen to him in the future. Already, Mr. Trump's name was mentioned at several points in the indictment, and evidence at hand appeared to show that as the former CEO of the company, the 45th president of the US had signed some of the illegal compensation checks. So basically, पहले नाम उनका already उठ चुका है. Why has his name come up? Because he has signed multiple checks, which has these checks, these amounts, which have been involved in illegal compensation. And if he has signed these checks, his name is going to certainly come up. Some felony charges are going to be placed against him as well. There are also indications that the indictment might be the tip of the iceberg. When I say tip of the iceberg, it's another idiom. What is it? Tip of the iceberg is ऊपर आपको, you will see something very, very small. But probably what is hiding under it is a huge felony case. Probably what we are seeing right now is only a little of what might, come out in the future in relation to the extent of the New York District Attorney's investigation of the corporate practices Mr. Trump and Mr. Trump's organization. So, बहुत सारी illegal activities है जिसमें ये organization involved हो सकती है. Only inquiry will bring this out. In May 21, legal filings in the New York revealed that the office of the DA was arguing in court that Mr. Trump's accountants were required to produce 8 years of his personal and corporate tax return in compliance with a grand jury subpoena. Okay, so basically, this line says that last 8 years के जो भी tax file किए हैं Mr. Trump ने, it should be taken out. It should be checked in detail if he has been filing the tax appropriately or not. Everybody knows he's a rich man. Even before he stood for the election, even before he became the president of USA, he was a rich man. He still is. This hinted that what was originally suspected to be an inquiry into illicit payments. देखो ये बहुत अच्छी लाइन है, बहुत फनी लाइन है. इंक्वायरी स्टार्ट कहां से हुई थी? ये इंक्वायरी स्टार्ट हुई थी जब ऐसा पता लगा कि मिस्टर ट्रंप ने बहुत सारे इलिसिट पेमेंट किए हैं अपने एसोसिएट्स को, जिनके साथ उनके अफेयर थे. वो चेक करने के लिए कि क्या इनके अफेयर थे, क्या उन्होंने इलीगली अपने गर्लफ्रेंड्स को कुछ पे किया था अमाउंट, ये चेक करने के लिए when the organization was checked, what came out was a huge felony that they had created. He had expanded into a far-reaching investigation related to bank and insurance fraud that this organization had created. So उनके जो affairs थे, उन affairs ने इनको फंसा दिया possibly यहाँ. While Mr. Trump had characteristically attacked the ongoing indictment, of course, how he talks, everybody knows about it. He talks brutally and he says, "Oh, this kind of an inquiry against me is absolutely wrong. It's a political witch hunt. मुझे गिराने के लिए है ताकि मैं next year election नहीं लड़ सकूं." This is to, defame me. I'm sure he must have said this. There is no escaping the reality that if the charges stick and the investigation continues to broaden its scope, he will be hobbled by a political distraction should he attempt a second political run in 2024. If he wants to come back to power, he has to contest the 2024 election for presidential election. But if these investigations are continued, possibly he'll not be able to do that because a lot of charges can come out against him. There have been troubling questions about his business activities ever since he entered office. Ever since he became the president, a lot of questions have come up about his business activities, about the Trump organization, including given that his real estate holdings were used for US government activities. Unki property गवर्नमेंट एक्टिविटीज के लिए यूज हो रही थी, whether he was in violation of the anomalous case of the US Constitution. The larger question, however, is the fact is one facing the Republican Party as such. Now, a bigger question, what is the bigger question? The bigger question here is, when the next presidential election rolls around, will it continue to place its faith in a man who, despite claiming to be an outsider to Washington, so basically, when he won the election, he always claimed himself to be outsider. कह रहे मैं इस फील्ड से नहीं हूं, मैं पॉलिटिशियन नहीं हूं, आई एम एन आउटसाइडर, यू शुड वोट मी. His claim that he was an outsider to Washington politics is evidently no different from any run-of-the-mill plutocrat. Any other plutocrat, any other rich person coming into power, Mr. Trump is one of them. You are no different. So when you claim yourself to be an outsider, it's actually a false claim. You are no different. You are a rich person. You are using your money to influence people. You are using your money for US government activities. You are using your property for that. So you are not different. No different from anyone else who is an elite. Should they do so for want of real leadership within their ranks, that should be a sad commentary on the state of and prospects for the conservative movement in the country. So technically it says this inquiry should be continued, and with the whatever claim Mr. Trump makes is actually a false claim. He is no different from any other elite and plutocrat leader. This article is about him. What is this now? Acha, kya ho raha hai? Buffering? No buffering. Thank you. क्या हो गया? लेट मी रीड. किसने क्या बोल दिया? ओके, ऑल राइट. ओ अभी तक एमिएबल और एमिकेबल अभी तक चल रहा है. मैं डिसेंट बता देती हूँ एक आंश आपको. डिसेंट का मतलब होता है अथॉरिटी के अगेंस्ट बोलना. ओके तो अगर मैंने मान लीजिए सेंटर की गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट कुछ बोल दिया, मुझे डिसेंट बोला जा सकता है, डिसिडेंट बोला जा सकता है, इनफैक्ट बिकॉज आई एम एक्सप्रेसिंग डिसेंट हियर. ओके. Oh, Trump was caught doing a lot of things easy, so I'll not talk about that. अच्छा. Okay. All right. Descriptive. Sunil, I'll answer your question. First, let us discuss the tone of the author. Critical, absolutely. It is critical, bache, certainly critical. He is criticizing, he is descriptive as well because he is explaining the whole charge of how the whole felony charges came out. It started from his girlfriends and how the other things, illegal things came out. So it is descriptive and it is critical. I think these two tones are absolutely correct. Critical and descriptive, undoubtedly. Now, the question that Sunil has. Okay, so Sunil, I indulge only into the editorial discussion, and this happens only and only here on the YouTube channel, nowhere else. Okay, but of course, we don't teach everything on YouTube. That's obvious. Okay, now I'm going to move on to a difficult article, but I have to tell you something, guys. I would like that you do not indulge into any kind of argument because that article is argumentative. Because it's about UAPA. So different people have different opinions. I would like that you do not indulge into any kind of argument, any kind of political opinions, because your opinion does not matter. Neither does mine, unless and until I go for a vote. Second thing, If you think anybody is indulging into any kind of argument here, you turn your chat box off. That's the best way to do it. Third thing, do not accuse me of having any kind of opinion. I'll try to be neutral here. I will express what the author thinks. So do not accuse me of any kind of opinion that the author has had. That is not my opinion, all right? So, okay. So, Ashutosh, because other articles that come in the exam are usually stories and literary articles, which are not usually seen in the editorial section. So that is the reason. Chat box off, everyone. Now understand this. But before this, we have 3 revision courses for you. One is CLAT revision. If you want to revise the whole course for CLAT, enroll yourself for this rapid revision course. Look at this clock. It's ticking. It's going fast. Don't waste your time. If you want to revise legal reasoning only, we have another course for you by Nivedita ma'am. If you want to revise your GK course, we have another course for you by Ashutosh sir and Rabia ma'am. Make sure you enroll yourself for this course if there are specific topics that you want to revise. This is the counselor's number. Please speak to them. Achha. Oh, by the way, we have another crash course, BYJU'S and Jamia. Agar aap target kar rahe ho, enroll yourself for this batch. This is the 3rd batch. 2 batches are already full. So make sure you enroll yourself at the earliest. ठीक है. Mr. Violet, I have already put up one video on figure of speech. Please watch that. It is saved in this channel. All right. Okay. So, no chat box for now. I will probably die. Who said this? Stan Swami did. And what happened? Stan Swami died. Okay, so this article is about the death of Stan Swami, who had some serious charges against the UAPA Act, and he was in jail for approximately 9 months. Okay? Now, I will not get into detail of what UAPA Act is. All you need to know is the government can arrest you for any kind of illegal act that you are doing. Any kind of, that could be a terrorist act, that could be your linkage to any terrorist organization, or that could be you trying to spread any kind of terror. So you can be charged under the UAPA Act. But this UAPA Act is a little, everybody calls it a draconian act. Of course, since I'm no lawyer, I cannot, express the literal definition of this act given in the books of law, but I know how it is implied, so I can use that. So a lot of people call it a draconian law. A lot of courts also call it draconian law, including our Justice Mr. Chandrachud as well. I hope all of you know him. So this is a draconian law. Why is this a draconian law? Because this law misses the basic fact of law, that's mens rea. यहाँ मेंस रिया मिसिंग है कि आपका अगर मोटिव है एक क्राइम कंडक्ट करना, अगर आपका एजेंडा है एक इलीगल चीज करना, दैट इज व्हेन यू विल बी चार्ज्ड अगेंस्ट दिस लॉ. बट यहाँ मेंस रिया ही मिसिंग है. So if I decide to go possibly outside and protest because I'm not happy with anything, I can be charged under this draconian UAPA law. आपको पता है 3 लोग जो दिल्ली में जिनको ये अंडर दिस लॉ चार्ज किया गया था, दो स्टूडेंट्स से, एंड देन दे हैड बीन लेट आउट ऑन बेल. आपको पता होना चाहिए ये स्टोरी क्या है. सो मैंने एक ब्रीफ में आपको बता दिया है व्हाट इज यूएपीए लॉ और ये लॉ क्यों फ्लॉड है और कैसे स्टैन स्वामी को अंडर दिस लॉ चार्ज किया गया, दिस एक्ट चार्ज किया गया था, and he wasn't let out. Although he had been asking the government, asking the judiciary that I will probably die here, please let me out on bail, he was not let out and he died. So this case has taken up a whole political scenario now. What is right, what is wrong? That is for the judiciary to decide, but we can always form opinions about that. Okay, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, absolutely. So anything that is unlawful, if you're trying to do that, the government can, the judiciary, the police can charge you for that. Okay. So, yes, Natasha, Devangana and Asif, absolutely correct. Draconian means harsh, yes. अब देखो, हुआ क्या था? Read this article. The death in judicial custody diminishes highest institutions of the judicial system. Judiciary custody में जब एक death हो जाती है, despite the fact that this person asking again and again to let him out because he might die because of multiple reasons, because he had Parkinson's and there was COVID all around and there was no distancing in the jails, he was not let out and he died. Obviously, this is going to take a political scenario. The death of an 84-year-old father, Stan Swami, in judicial custody Monday brings to an end a stark tale of injustice. Now, the author says this is injustice. The injustice, one that has left the highest institutions of India justice seem diminished. हाईएस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन हाईएस्ट जस्टिस सिस्टम जो हमारे कंट्री में है उसकी जो वैल्यू है डिमिनिश कर दी है इस केस ने. The Jesuit basically here is a person who he's a father. Stan Swami was a father. Okay, father does not mean the father to a child. The father is a Christian father. Okay, he was a priest known for his advocacy of tribal rights in Jharkhand. Was arrested in October last year by the National Investigation Agency under the Unlawful Activities UAPA and charged with conspiracy in the Bhima Koregaon case. अब ये केस क्या है मैं इसका भी आपको एक लाइन में ब्रीफ बता देती हूँ. सो भीमा कोरेगांव केस में Bhima Koregaon is a place where a group of people had come. So let's look at the history of it. Bhima Koregaon is a place where Britishers had a fight with just a minute. Is it buffering, bachcho? Just a minute. Looks like it's buffering. 1 minute. Okay. So in Bhima Koregaon case, I think it's fine. So in Bhima Koregaon case, Britishers had a fight with Peshwa Bajirao too. And Peshwa Bajirao had a huge army there. I'm sure you know how respected is Peshwa Bajirao in Maharashtra. So he had a fight with the Britishers and Britishers had a small army, a lot of Dalits, a lot of Christians, a lot of non-Hindus basically, or not of the upper class were a part, and Muslims as well were a part of the Britishers army. Britishers had defeated Peshwa and Britishers had erected a monument to show respect for every dead soldier in their army. Now what happened was a lot of Dalits, including B.R. Ambedkar, looks at it as an upliftment of Dalits and other communities who are oppressed. They look at it that way. So they every year on 1st January used to come and commemorate this monument that had been installed, not as a victory of Britishers but as a victory of oppressed class over the high class. This is the history of Bhima Koregaon. Every year they used to come on 1st of January to basically commemorate the memory of the dead Dalits and dead Christians. इस चीज जो भी suppressed class था उनकी death को commemorate करने के लिए वो आते थे. Obviously, a lot of non-Dalits, non-suppressed class, the higher class, were unhappy with that. एक दिन एक अटैक होता है on 1st of January जब वो commemorate करके वापस आ रहे होते हैं और इस अटैक में पुलिस बहुत सारे लोगों को चार्ज करती है for creating a ruckus and illegal unlawful activities. Okay, बहुत सारे लोगों को ऐसा लगता है पुलिस को कि बहुत सारे लोगों को चार्ज किया जाना चाहिए यहाँ. But later on, the police changes its stance. It raids 5 activists, their homes, and arrests them under the UAPA Act. Stan Swami was one of them. Okay, now let's go on and understand what the article is about. In nearly 9 months of his incarceration is imprisonment. 9 months wo prison mein the. Till his death, the ailing activist came up. Ailing is he was weak with his health. He was ailing and again he came up against the heavy hand of the state, an unresponsive judiciary and a broken prison system. He and everybody who supports Stan Swami says our judiciary was unresponsive during Stan Swami case. The judiciary never gave a response. Think for example, when Swami's lawyers asked for a sipper and a straw for him to drink water because he had Parkinson's and made it impossible for him to drink water from a glass. Then similarly, the disease had made, the court adjourned the case for 3 weeks. 3 week के लिए court ने adjourn कर दिया अपना case. So technically, the court here is considered to be an unresponsive judiciary. The court did not take a decision. Think again of the NIA's opposition to the 4 bail pleas that Swami had filed. कोई भी response नहीं आया 4 bail pleas का. Bail देखो, obviously UAP is a non-bailable offense, but in special cases like हमने दिल्ली में जो भी 3 activist का देखा, they had been given a bail. But यहाँ 4 bail pleas were not responded. First in the special NIA court, later in the Bombay High Court, these bail pleas were sent. They were not responded. When Swami asked the special court for bail on the grounds that an overcrowded prison would make him more vulnerable to COVID, तो court ने क्या बोला? Court ने बोला कि आप सिर्फ मौके का फायदा उठा रहे हो, मौका है COVID-19, you're just taking advantage and you're trying to come out of the prison. We are not going to grant you any bail. And you're just trying to take undue benefit of the situation. And yet, all in these months, the NIA did not seek any days custody to interrogate Swami. और इतने 9 months में एक बार भी मिस्टर स्वामी स्टैन स्वामी को इंटरोगेट नहीं किया गया. Think also of his last appearance via video conference. Video conference में when the last time he appeared in front of the Bombay High Court, what did he say? He said, I will probably die here very shortly if things go on as it is. Because there's COVID and I have Parkinson's and I'm ailing, I will probably die here. And that's what happened. Okay, so the Bombay High Court is yet to begin hearing on 2nd of Swami's bail pleas filed on the merit. अभी भी hearing कोई start नहीं हुई है even after his death. Swami's case, of course, is not alone. There are a lot of other cases. Several other accused in the Bhima Koregaon case remain in the prison. Their trial has not begun yet, even after 9 months of their incarceration. From Professor Heni Babu to Telugu poet Varvara Rao, several have struggled to find basic medical attention in the derelict prison. Derelict prison means बहुत ही खराब condition में prisons हैं. They have not been given medical attention. They are fighting for their basic medical needs, and the case is not going anywhere. There are far too many instances of the judiciary's lack of urgency, like this case. Its reluctance to stand up for the liberty of citizens faced with a state that does not flinch from using draconian laws like blunt instrument against public intellectuals, students and dissenters. So basically, the government, the court right now has been accused of using draconian laws to suppress dissent, to suppress students and to suppress intellectuals. That is the UAPA law. The recent Delhi High Court order granting bail to Natasha Narwal, Devangna Kalita and Asif Tana. I've been repeating this example because these are recent examples and you need to know about them because the legal implication is really, really strong. So, unko abhi recently bail mili, bail grant hui, could have been an exception in the way it raised the bar for the draconian UAPA to deny bail. But ironically, the apex court stayed that order and slapped the bench on the wrist for going about the law. देखो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या किया? Only and only slapping on the wrist to those people who use this law to accuse these people of sedition and unlawful activities. So it was only a slap on the wrist, कुछ भी strong नहीं किया. Possibly Mr. Chandrachud, our Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, has been expressing his strong opinions, but a lot of other judges have not been doing that, according to the author. It was for the courts to decide if Swami was guilty or not. Courts decide karte ye that Stan Swami was guilty or not. It was for the NIA to prove its case against him. सब कुछ court करता, सब कुछ law करता. However, in failing to protect the life of a fragile ailing under trial and his right to due process, the state and the judiciary don't just shrink in space for dissent and dissenters, but also invite damning verdict of history. So basically, the author says that Sahi kaun hai, galat kaun hai, the court will decide. Proceedings kya hona chahiye? Facts present karna, court ka kaam hai, lawyers ka kaam hai. But if there is a person who is in the prison, protecting him from any kind of disease and protecting his life is the judiciary and the laws in the law's hands. And if you are unable to do it, everybody is going to hate you for that, including all the dissenters, all the people who want justice for everyone. In the COVID management, the courts have been bright points of light on this. There's a dark blot. So, कोविड मैनेजमेंट हमारे पूरी कंट्री में अगर देखा जाए तो कोर्ट ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, बहुत ब्राइट पॉइंट है. बट इस केस में कोर्ट का जो स्टैंस है, इट्स अ डार्क ब्लॉट. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस आर्टिकल. Ailing means weak, yes. What is the tone, बच्चों? What is the tone? Critical, absolutely. Strictly critical, lampooning, nothing else. Concerning critical, yes. Very, very strong. Tragic, yes. Satirical, nahi. Serious हो सकता है, critical है. Suggestive, no, I don't think it's suggestive. It is till the last point absolutely criticizing the judiciary. Okay? Alright, so I hope you understand this now, guys. And why have I not been given Guru Dakshina? Like the video, everyone. Like karo isko. By the time you like this, I'm going to show you the caricature of the day. And remember to write the summary of the articles in the comment section. अब देखो possibly इस article का जो UAPN Stan Swami का जो article है, some other point of view may come out. If I find any other point of view, I'm going to bring that article to you. And if you're targeting CLAT 23, we have a comprehensive course starting very, very soon. Please enroll yourself by speaking to our counselors on this number. This is our list of faculties. I'm sure you know all of them here. Okay. So this is, I am sure you know what this caricature is about. You'll understand this. मैम आफ्टर ग्रेजुएशन 3 years का कोर्स में बार काउंसिल का मेंबरशिप मिलेगा? एब्सोल्युटली मिलेगा गोपाल, एब्सोल्युटली मिलेगा. Yes, I've answered your question. Of course you can use it, Yeshita, you can use it. लैम्पोनिंग का मतलब होता है क्रिटिसाइजिंग बच्चे, कमी निकालना किसी में. सटायरिकल नहीं है. ओके, दिस इज सटायर. यहां सटायर क्या है मुझे ये बताओ. इस कैरिकेचर में व्हाट इज सटायर? व्हाट इज सटायर इन दिस कैरिकेचर? Thank you, legendary human. Thank you. You could send these comments under my videos comment section also, so that later on when I read them, I'll be happy. Okay. चिराग, मेजर डिफरेंस है 1 साल का, एक एक्स्ट्रा साल पढ़ाई करने का. That's the only difference. Mask and yes, Khushi, absolutely correct. Mask and what is written on it is sarcasm here. कि मैं कमेंट नहीं दूंगा, क्योंकि अगर मैं कमेंट दूंगा तो भैया मुझे भी तुम अंडर सेडिशन एंड यूएपीए जेल में डाल सकते हो. सो नो कमेंट्स फ्रॉम माय साइड बाय रीडिंग दिस. Okay, so every one of you do not file a complaints of UAP against me because I'm doing something unlawful by explaining this article to you. So now I am going to see you tomorrow with 2 articles. Watch my short roundup video today to know about what are the articles that are important, which is going to be uploaded immediately after the class. And see me tomorrow on time with 2 articles under discussion. Till then, work very hard, all of you, and have a nice day. God bless you.